Y arranca.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Mario, Jose, Stephanie, Maria Fernanda to this panel. As a future teacher, it is important to recognize the trends and the issues of the teaching and learning process, especially on the English language. That is the reason because we are here in this panel. Because we need to discuss about development of Colombian education in the 21st century. I like to start with my topic. The topic that I choose is being bilingual in Colombia according to PNB. PNB means Plan Nacional de Bilingüismo. Because of globalization, it's very important to have a good level of English, which facilitates the opportunity to have a better access to work. That is why the Ministry of National Education, the MEN, Ministerio de Educación Nacional, through the National Bilingualism Plans, aims to encourage learning of the English languages. In order to achieve citizens capable of communication in English, so that they can insert the country into the processes of universal communication in the global economy, in the cultural openings, with the international comparable standards. Being bilingual means mastering the different degrees a person achieves by communicating in more than one language and culture. These grades depend on the context in which each person performs. The use of language other than mother tongues becomes a second language or foreign language. The MEN, the Ministerio de Educación, choose the common European framework or reference for language, learning, teaching, and evaluation. A document developed learning English for a second language. We describe that the students, when finish level 11, the high school, must to finish and with a B1 label in English. To achieve the B1 label in English, the student must be able to understand the main points of clear tests, knowing how to perform in situations that may arise during the journey through areas where the language is issued, and able to produce sample and coherent texts. This is the basis of the plan of the Ministerio de Educación. And now, Jose, could you continue with your topic?
Okay. My topic is about Colombian speaks English to achieve global communication. The thesis I am going to defend is English allows Colombia to open his doors to the globalization and help to increase his own development. I think English is the tool that need Colombia to improve the development and to increase the level of education in this country. The first statement to this topic is English is globalized and widespread. That means English is the way for people to make to make new the information they want to be published. So if I want that my investigations or something I want will be published, the way to make that is through the English language. Is the one thing to defend in this topic. The second is English support the times of competitiveness in the global market. In the market world, English is the maternal language, you know, is something like that. English makes people to trade, okay? So if I want to trade with someone or introduce myself in the market world, I need to know English to do that. So if Colombia wants to trade with other countries or make some trades, it's important do it, but in English language. The third statement is English allows the access to information and technology. When we say technology is the future way to learning, teaching, and working, also we refer that English is the way that have technology to make know. So all the advantage that have the technology are published in English. So English is very important when we talk about the global communication. And that's the three things to be in mind, because without them, we can say English is not important. But when we think in a global communication, English is the way to do that. That's my topic. Okay, so next to Stephanie.
Thank you, Jose. Okay, I should introduce my topic of this way. For example, I choose a foreign language education policy in Colombia. And my specific purpose for this speech is to discuss the different policies in Colombia about foreign language education through the time by studying related articles to identify their fails and the correct path that they should take. For that reason, I wrote this thesis, this contextualization, the misconception of what bilingualism and proficiency are, the implicit exclusion in government plans, and the inappropriate drafting of education standards in foreign languages are the main reason why Colombia government policies fail. So, based on in these articles, I think the failure of all public policy regarding bilingual education in Colombia is due to the various factors. One of them is that they didn't go over the road. That is, they were not carried out in practice. In addition, I read USMA 2009 based on different exam tests done to teacher and foreign languages ensure that they are not sufficiently prepared to take their students to develop the communication skills in English as a second language. Therefore, it was evident that there were multiple flaws in higher education in language degree. Okay, this is my topic. So Maria Fernanda, could you please continue with the introduction of your topic?
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Hello, my name is Maria Fernanda CUMBAL. About my speech, its topic, basic standards of competencies is foreign language. English contributes to educating bilingual Colombian. A specific purpose, understand how the basic standards of competence in foreign language are articulated with the process of bilingualism in Colombia. Attention getter, how are the standards in English organized? Do you code who English is traversal to other areas of knowledge? It is important to code the basic
standards of competence in foreign language because this helps use to create strategies that facilitate and strengthen bilingualism. Thesis. English language processing labeled according to self-alignment. Introduction. Teaching methods and materials has been teaching of communication, introduction to English language literature. Closing. Integrated theory what practice at Apple the knowledge acquired in the different education areas drive the corresponding conclusions avoiding the correspond personal theory, develop reflections on the action and investigation of certain phenomena of better understand the teaching and learning of check the student's vocation for the profession. Mario, continue with your topic.
Thank you, Maria Fernanda. My topic is cultural implications for bilingual education in Colombia. By this, I want to focus on the fact that we as Colombians are always giving more importance to foreigners, to people who come from other countries. But we do not give enough credit to our own culture. So for me, it's really important to adapt the foreign language culture to our needs so that we can participate in our roots heritage, and the idea is to merge global needs into our local interest. So the main idea is that we can learn vocabulary that we use into a context. We learn about idioms, we learn about expressions, we learn about different meaningful situations that can help us as Colombians, as Bayunos, yes, as Caleños, Palmireños, Tulueños, wherever we are from, to apply the language, yes? So it's like to extract the most important things of the language and adapt it to our culture. Basically, my plan is that every tense, the structure of the language is always the same, yes? Even if you're an American, if you are from England, if you're from Australia, it is always the same. The structure is the same. Maybe some words are different, yes? So for me, what is important is that we apply it in a way that works for us, that we can share our costumes, that we can share our cuisine, the food related to our religion, our beliefs, and adapt it to the language this needs, okay? So with that part, I just finished my intervention. I'm going to give back the word to Lorena, who is our moderator, and we can continue with the panel discussion of the questions.
Okay, Mario, thank you. Now I have some question for you about my topic. I want to know, what do you think that the national plan of bilinguals provide the same opportunities to learn English to all individual or social groups?
I want to participate in this question.
Okay.
So, I consider not, it doesn't. In fact, this national plan seems to focus only on an elite group that is only in the main cities in Colombia, living outside the most remote population of the territory, especially the rural area.
Okay, thank you. I agree with you too.
Yes, I think that the opportunities are not for every part of Colombia because I have heard that many teachers they have to teach a lot of different subjects to cover for the hours and that maybe
Yeah.
sometimes those teachers are not especially I don't know, developed, yes, in teaching English. So sometimes they have to do a lot of different things because there's too little teachers to cover. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Okay. Although the national plan says he wants to cover all part in the country,
mhm,
I think the big problem is the enough, enough, enough plans that country want to carry in these times. So this is not the only plan who country wants to make in the country. So it's difficult, I think, to the government make through every plan in the same time. So I don't know what do you think about it, but I think the time is also, I think, to take account in this topic.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm. I agree.
I want to add something about that question is I don't think that the plan cover all social groups because the government never think in the children who live in the areas because they have access to the internet
Yes.
and
Mhm.
also the native people in India is hard to they have the access to the internet too. And for me, it's really hard to develop that program in all Colombia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Somebody
Even
wants.
yeah, the
Sorry.
zona in the rural area only have one teacher for all subjects, and this teacher not prepared in English. So I consider it's very hard for that population.
Yes, it's true. Mhm. So,
Somebody wants to add something about your topic.
Okay, me. My question is, do you think Colombia really need to speak English?
Yes, of
Of
course.
yes.
I mean, what's the why of your thought?
Well, like I consider the English is very important now for a lot of subjects and topics on the world. For example, economics, political, academic area, scientists. So I consider this is very important for everyone in our country have a high level in English. But well, in another language, but it's important the bilingualism. And I read the the change in the brain that affects speak two or more
mhm. Yes.
languages.
Mhm.
Okay, for me, it's important too that Colombian speak English for the globalization because you know the globalization is now the most important in the world, and you can speak English, you can find a better job, and do
Mhm.
you have opportunities for your economy, and yes, I think it's important that Colombia speak English.
Yes, me too. I agree. Basically, your question is something that all of us think that is necessary. In this moment, for example, with the situation of the virus, we have been working from home. And
Mm.
it is possible that we can find opportunities, as you have been saying, in other countries, better job, more money, yes, for example, but it also opened the doors for research. If you look in YouTube a video about preparing an omelette, for example, and if you
Yeah.
look for it in Spanish or in English, the amount of videos that you find in English, it's absurd, yes? The same happens to articles, the same happens to books. Uh, Basically, if you want to compete in a global um, place, you have to learn the language that is competing around the world. So I think it's a necessity, it's not a luxury.
Okay, something else?
Okay.
Yeah, I will do a question. Um, Maria Fernanda couldn't, well, her connection is very bad, so she entered to the encounter and out.
Mhm.
But well, okay, my question is the next. Why are bilingual education policy standards considered to be inadequate? What do you think about it? Why the standards are inadequate for our policies, and maybe this is a factor for why the policy failed every time.
You asked about what the standards are not according to the country. Okay,
Yeah.
I first said that the time is important. Are so big projects in country, a lot of.
Yeah.
For every part of the development of the country in education. Projects for English, math, of every subject.
Yes.
So I think the projects are good ideas, but need to be on floor according to the time
Yeah.
and according to the people who works for this project. No, you said that one teacher give all subjects in a school. So what's the problem? Only have a one teacher. The solution, give to this school more teachers, but how the country could make that? That's the really question. So these questions are important to be placed to analyze uh, this topic.
Yeah, you are right. Somebody else?
Lorena, what do you think?
Okay, I think that that project has a lot of good things, but the problem is that they can fix it before, for example, to prepare better a teacher, you know?
Yeah.
Because as a teacher, we know about the subject, but the problem is the better for that we communicate to the students. And also in Colombia, we don't have the opportunities to practice, especially speaking like now.
Yeah, it's true.
We are in Colombia. In Colombia, everybody speaks only Spanish. It's a lot of people who speak English too, but it's hard for us to practice speaking.
With them, yes.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is my opinion
I
You're
about
right.
that.
I think that Stephanie's question is really simple to
To answer it?
answer it. Yes, because
Yes.
if we go to the CEFR, they say that we have to spend 100 hours to increase our level of knowledge of any language. So from an A1 to an A2, we have to spend 100 hours. From to B2, another 100 hours. And that way, so we can reach to the goal. But if we have 3 hours in 1 week of English, it is not enough time. We do not have enough teachers. You need to have like a minimum of students, of course, but we always have like a maximum of 50. It should be like half, yes. So there are a lot of things that I believe need to be changed. And also I think that when we talk about standardizing, yes, we all of us are different. We have different skills. We have different capacities, yes. So maybe I am better to learn by listening to something. Maybe Lorena is better to, I don't know, memorize or to learn
Reading,
something. Exactly. So this is something that needs to be reevaluated, that needs to be taken from another point of view. And
Yes.
Maria Fernanda, welcome back. Maybe Stephanie can update you. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, I want to complete this part about standards. It's very short, I want to say. So this is, standards are not correctly formulated because first are foreign. So they are not contextualized to the condition of our countries, as Jose said. Second, they assume the English is a language superior to all others. And third, they take for granted to the student's ability to use the language at any time with anyone, which is very far from reality, since not everyone will reach the same baggage linguistic on the same topic, as said Mario. And number four, if the standards had been written using modal verbs, because the categorical implication would be diminished in the indicative way, where the ability in the right to use language read simply with the speaker. So this is maybe why standards are bad or wrong written. So it's for the reason that you gave me, and this is the how do you say, argumentative part of the others. Okay, so what is the next? Maybe Mafe, give us or ask the question, please.
Yes, please. We have 9 minutes of video left.
Okay.
My answer to Lorena's question is, for me, bilingualism is a process that consists of all people being able to express themselves on the universal language, that it's English, in addition to their native language, in our case, Spanish. And it seems to me that we still had a long way to go to achieve that goal of bilingual Colombia because of context of our education at this time do not meet the necessary records for that process. An interesting contribution would be the fact of intensifying the hours of English and improving the methodology and learning strategies. My answer to Jose's question is yes, I consider that for the development of the country, to a great essence it is necessary to understand the process of other countries that speak English. It is a need of communication to generate connectivity with external media in order to improve the quality of life. Yes, they are to manage the two languages so that they someone complement each other an inclusion program, but while bilingualism must be developed as an integrated process. My answers are: what is the objective of the National Bilingual Plan? Okay.
Okay, I think the objective is the most of the people have the English competencia.
Competence, yeah.
Competence. The English competence.
Mhm.
That's the objective.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we go into the fact, maybe it's different, but the objective, I think, is most of the people have an English or bilingualism.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. And now I a conclusion about the topics. I want to start my conclusion.
Wait, Lorena. Miss Mario for the question, isn't it?
Yes, I wanted to ask you a question.
Sorry.
Don't worry. I know that we have little time, but is
Yeah.
that, for example, in my school, we celebrate a lot of different holidays, like Thanksgiving, we celebrate San Valentine's, yes, but we are paying
San
more
Patrick.
attention to those celebrations that are not Colombian, that are not Latin, and we're not celebrating ours. So for me, what do you think? Can we be bilingual and protect our roots and cultural heritage? That is my question.
Okay, so I think so. So I thought that lies is a lot of crossing cutting. That is the joint work that is done within all subjects in terms of strengthening Colombian culture, its tradition and custom, with the American or England culture together. Say, celebrate to the both culture in our schools. Well, I think that maybe this way we protect our cultural heritage.
Yes, yes. Somebody
Okay,
else?
I think we can do it. Why? I think our traditional culture that although is into the Spanish language, we can learn another language, another culture without let our traditional culture in other side.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So
Yes.
I think it's a possible, and I think we can do it. Only we need to be organized.
Yes.
Only one thing, and I think it.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So now conclusions.
Please.
Okay.
3 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, my conclusion about my topic is globalization every day requires more educated individuals who can speak English language. As this will ensure a promising future for them, their families, and in our country. To achieve this, the Colombian government, together with the Ministry of National Education and supported by the Common European Framework, seek to return to Colombia a bilingual country.
Okay, good. Jose?
Okay, my conclusion is modest. Only a phrase. English is the language of the world. I think.
Easy.
This one
Easy.
is very true. Okay, in my case, I wrote it. I consider the revision of the country's bilingual project to be at the utmost importance of all school levels. That is, from the early education to the higher education. And in this review, it's necessary to take into account the opinion of teachers, researchers, students, and those interested in the subject. Similarly, education policies must be inclusive, as Jose said. They must be worked under the premise of equity. In addition, determine factors such as a context, socioeconomic condition, interest, and needs of the students. And
Excellent.
that's all.
Mafe? Mafe?
My conclusion about my speech, my conclusion My conclusion
Yes.
about my speech is knowledge of education at the school and the class, solving daily routines, etc., improving teaching attitude, developing attitudes and valors for teaching, identify and analyze the psychopedagogical aspects involved.
Mhm. Okay. So keeping in mind Mafe's conclusions and my conclusion about my topic in this last minute that we have is that I think that we are able to merge, yes, to connect our cultures because
Yeah.
even if we are celebrating Valentine's, Thanksgiving, St.
Yes.
Patrick's, we also have a way to connect these celebrations. Yes, for example, how do we celebrate Valentine's here? Yes, like St. Patrick's, it was a saint, yes, in religious way.
Yes.
But here we have also have different people from the Catholic Church, yes, who have helped setting slavery free, helping others. So there is a way that we can contact those things to our roots. We can connect all of that. And I think it's possible, but like you guys are saying, um, be organized, keep things in mind. And I think that with that, we can conclude our work. And well, it has been a pleasure working with you guys.
Okay. Thank you very much for all.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, it's
Bye.
a
Have a
wrap.
nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.